I'm Zach from Scanner Media, and I'm sitting here with Zach Fowler, who is running for Tiffin Law Director here in the city of Tiffin, and he is up running for a contested race that will be taking place November 7th. Zach, introduce yourself and who are you, and just describe yourself to the public here.
Yeah, well, thanks, Zach. It's nice to meet you. So I have grown up here, graduate from Tiffin, Columbian in 2003, and then Tiffin University in 2007. Then went on to law school at Ohio Northern University. Graduated early. I graduated a semester early from all my hard work.
That's pretty good.
Graduated number 8 in my class, was a member of law review, so it was a lot of hard work through those times. And was fortunate enough to know some other attorneys in town, was able to secure a job at both part-time at the Seneca County Prosecutor's Office, as well as at the time Lane Devine and Klaus, so Lane Devine and Dave Klaus. Worked at the part-time at the prosecutor's office for 2 years, and doing that I did a lot of work with county officials, township officials, so a lot of advising them, kind of in the same way the law director works with the mayor and city council. So a lot of good experience there that helps with this role. And then I was at Ann and Dave's office for a total of 4 years, and then took a job at a credit union where I was the in-house attorney for them for about 3 years. The nice part about that is you got to learn a lot about working internally with management and the board. And so what happens is I think the biggest learning experience was taking something complicated and putting it into a format that everybody else could kind of understand. So just having that knowledge of making something difficult a little more digestible for those that have to make decisions. So the same way with counsel, you may have to take something complicated, like even some of the finance law that the city has to do, and make it so that they can understand it, so that they can make a decision. And then my last 2 years have been here at Supance and Howard, working with Brent Howard and Jim Supance, and Brent, of course, is the current law director. And Brent's gotten to know me quite well, and to the point where he feels comfortable to have me run and go for the law director, and I've got his endorsement. So
That's pretty huge because he is the current law director, and he's been a law director for quite some time in the city of Tiffin. Like you said, experience matters, and that you have some experience dealing with the public sector, and then, like you said, taking something complicated, making it simple. In the city of Tiffin, we know the law director advises every day, all the time, on situations involving the public, council, and situation may arise. So your experience in that would be very beneficial. And the good thing is you're from Tiffin, so you understand Tiffin, you know people in that you live in Tiffin, so therefore a decision that you make would ultimately affect yourself, and not just I live out of town and make decisions in a government entity, but I don't have to necessarily deal with the consequences of my actions. So therefore, it's very good that you live in the city of Tiffin. And obviously you have to live in Tiffin to run for law director, but then again, the city of Astoria just went out, so you don't have to live in the city. So it depends on the city that you're in. And going into this campaign, have you learned anything about Tiffin that you didn't really know about Tiffin before the campaign started?
Yeah, a little. I mean, just getting around, door to door with folks is probably the biggest thing that I've had to do with them, is just educate them on the role. Brent's been the law director for 28 years, so this is first time in quite some time that they've had to think about voting for a law director, and so just helping people through that, just understand what the role is, has been great. I will say one thing that we saw pretty quickly, because myself, my wife, and my son, we all went door to door starting in August, and we noticed right away that a lot of people have their video doorbell. You just see how times have changed. But yeah, I mean, really the big thing was just helping people learn about the role.
And that's a good thing to have because people may not understand what law director does or what it is. They won't know until they have to experience it. So that's good that you educated them on that. And again, you don't want to have someone confused going to the polls because that's not a good thing in a campaign. So that's good that you're able to educate and let people know what your role is. Now, if you were elected on November 7th, what is some of your plans as law director that you would look forward to working with or doing?
Yeah, well, the biggest issue we have immediately is the current city prosecutor, Andrew Egan. He is leaving. His last day will be November 20th. And so Law Director Howard's already working on putting the ads out to try and find another attorney. And so we've been trying to get a hold of, there's a couple people from our area who have recently passed the bar. So we're getting in contact with them to see if there's any desire to come back and work here. Some have already had some plans, but we haven't gotten through to all of them, so you never know.
That's good to see someone come back.
And
they're
great.
Younger.
It would be great. Yeah, it really would. So we're looking into that. So that's definitely the most pressing matter. But other than that, a lot of it's just going to be transitionary issues. There's been some chats of what do we do with this overwhelmingly new council. So there's been some talks already of
Educating
some
them.
training session, even before January, just to bring them up to speed a little bit on just how a meeting should go. But the other will be just some transitions because, again, for Brent, it's, done it for 28 years. So there's going to be some changes of, just physically moving some things. But so I think in that first year, it's going to be really just the learning curve of learning some of the things you just don't know. Any job you don't know until you get in there. There are things that you can prepare to do. I did a seminar just a week ago on public records law and the Open Meetings Act. Just kind of a nice refresher because I haven't really dealt with it too much since when I was at the county. So those are really just the big things. Just smooth transition and getting your feet wet.
Well, so if I'm going to the polls on November 7th, why should I vote for you, Zach, on November 7th?
Yeah, what I offer to the city is that I've got 11 years of experience as an attorney, whereas my opponent's only got 2. I've got the endorsement of the current law director, and so those are, I think, two major reasons to do that, as well as some related experience in that time. I think the other thing that you'll find is that I'm very community oriented, and not just that I like to give back to the community, and I do those things, but my approach to the position is, as law directors, finding the ways to make, if there's something that's going to happen, if there's going to be a change in the law, if there's going to be, say, we're going to very likely have more property development, just trying to help bridge
Mitigate
all
that.
that, make it happen. A lot of times that is what happens for the law directors, that you're not just advocating for the city and advising them, but you're also working with those outside parties to try and help get things done.
And ultimately work with council to say, hey, you need to do this, this, and this to red tape for this project, or you should do this, or if you do this, you don't do this because this will happen, or you can't do this because the Ohio Revised Code says you can't. So that's good that you advise them.
Right. So yeah, I do. I've always encouraged everyone to just take that minute. You can read the voter guide at the Tiffin League of Women Voters. You can check us out on Facebook. But check around, ask your neighbors. But I think you'll find that when you're doing that, that we've got the right qualifications to take this role on.